Shea Keetler and Will Lynch at the face-off dot will get us going on the GT emblem here in Atlanta, and we're underway. Big battle for it. Lynch has the advantage but can't pick up the GB. Now Keetler's battling for it. Still loose, and eventually the Irish pick it up.
You watch them on tape. They score with both hands. They use the top portion of the offensive zone to their advantage in terms of just seeing where defensive players are overcommitting.
Man inside, behind the back, scores! Of course, it's Jake Taylor to put the Irish on the board first.
This is big for the Irish because when you defend Notre Dame, you have to deal with Jake Taylor inside. You're going to deny him the ball, or you're going to come off of him and support these matchups. Maryland is deciding to slide, but when Jake Taylor's in slide, he's one of the worst players you can leave because he's automatic.
Especially on a day when it's warm like this, a lot of coaches talk about Taylor inside. Here with the shot, it's like I hit the pipe. Stays with the Irish and Maharris. Will Maharris, advantage for Notre Dame, scores! Kavanaugh on the doorstep. They're moving at lightning speed here early, Cart.
Will Maharris was a attackman in high school with vision and the ability to dissect the defense. He's playing midfield right now for Kevin Corrigan and offensive coordinator Chris Wojcik. You see the ability to throw that through pass to the backside, and this is where Kavanaugh loves to set his feet. When you give him the ball around 5 and 5, a lot of players like to just place it there. He puts everything into that shot.
Got a shorty on him down the alley. Now the slide comes with Nate Schwitzenberg. New name for the Irish, 27. I know you really like the way he's played this year.
He's been terrific the first few games.
Be a look here, score! It's Eric Spanos, puts the Terps on the board.
Spanos, a KG vet, redshirt junior. He's a big boy at 6'5". You see, he catches this ball, and Campisi tries to go over his head. Campisi's about 5'11". If you don't land this check, you're in trouble because you're shot ready and you're going to make it count. He had a shot last week against Georgetown when he was coming around goal line extending. Instead of just continuing his stride, he set his feet and hammered it.
Angrick on the run, steered aside.
Talking to Chris Wojcik, too, he loves moving Chris Kavanaugh around. Right now, he's at the top of the box. He's an attackman playing in a traditional midfield spot. He's a 360 attackman. Move him anywhere around.
Angrick gets a good look here. Save made by McNaney. So a couple in rapid succession for the All-American.
Dominating matchups. He has a bright future.
There he is. Loses the ball initially. Gets it back. We'll get it up to Aiden Aiken. It's another young man who's been getting a lot more playing time as the season progresses. Stovall gets his left hand free, but Ricciardelli makes the save.
That was the look Stovall wanted because Campisi got caught in a pick.
Maharris again with the Irish. We talked about the waves of midfielders. Coach Corrigan not afraid to run several lines out there, and on a warm day, players are warmed up. He's not afraid to do it.
Well, the depth last year was a big part of their success in winning it all. They ran 9 midfielders. 5 midfielders who scored in last year's championship game are still on this team.
That's amazing. There's one right there. McNaney makes the save. He's sharp early.
For Notre Dame, athletic two-way guys, two-handed, they're going to be a bear to deal with. That is Will Donovan playing defense, chasing and harassing.
Relentless. Stamos is going to get a look here. Ricciardelli makes the save.
Adian White has some of those stick skills and crazy shots like Jake Taylor. I mean, behind the backs, wraparounds. He's got the hands.
I asked Coach to describe his play, and he said, score by Faison. More on that later. Got to give 14 and White his flowers, though.
They wanted to hold him out, keep him fresh. Target this game last week against Georgetown. He had a couple runs. One, he stuck the corner with his left hand. This time he goes back to his dominant right. And Notre Dame is up 2 in the ATL.
And the Terps take full advantage. Spanos for the second time today finds the back of the net.
How about the deception of Eric Spanos? His ability to lull Schwitzenberg to sleep, kind of, right? It looks like he's catching the ball, and then he plants his foot to get underneath him. How quick he changes the direction. Looks like it's just going to be a catch and a transfer.
Really is almost surreal, though, to be here at Bobby Dodd and have seen so many football games on this field. To be able to see a lacrosse game on turf, and Richard Daly was forced to make that save after Keitler won the face-off cleanly to himself in the right spot.
You know, we talk of all the losses that Notre Dame had from a year ago, right? With Eric Dobson at the midfield, and Pat Cavanaugh wins the Tewaaraton, Liam Entenmann.
That was a great
amount
save.
of talent that's back on this team right now is Quinn's going to be critical.
I don't know. I think Q's already given him the seal of approval already early on. It's only March 1st. Again,
There's
Schultz.
Ramsey.
Takes a shot and scores!
I love the upside of Schultz. When I was getting ready for this game, I went into the archives and watched his high school highlights, and I could not tell if he was right-handed or left-handed. When you watch him last week against Princeton, he goes down the alley and he hits a bullet on the run with his left hand. This time, he does it on the opposite side of the field against maybe the best short stick D-midi in the country.
First tie since we were 0-0 at the start of this game.
New Jersey State Player of the Year.
Outstanding job by Lynch. Not only winning the face-off, but keeping possession. Keegan trying to muscle his way through. Can't do it on Ramsey.
See how quick they switch? Now you have the switch. Use the pick game because you get the switch.
Erksta scores! Flag down on the play. The officials talk about it in the crease. The Maryland players want confirmation on the goal. They haven't gotten it. They're going to wave it off.
Let's take a look. They're saying he's in the crease. He does not land in the goal mouth. Is he pushed as well?
Or does he land in the goal mouth? Watch this. He makes contact with Richard Daly.
Yes, he does land in the goal mouth. That right knee lands in the goal mouth. That's a good call. The ball crosses the plane.
We'll put it back up top to Ford.
I'd like to see Keegan on the other side being a lefty. He's losing his angle on the dodge by going back to the left hand when he starts at this upper right side.
Now he'll work to the other side as Ford tries to get it inside. He does. No angle, though, for the shooter. Now he finds one and scores. Daniel Kelly, not just one for the Terps. And Maryland takes the lead for the first time this afternoon.
I had a chance to talk to Daniel Kelly at practice yesterday. He said he loves this offensive group. Nobody cares who scores. Everyone gets involved, but this senior is the vocal leader, and he's got a lefty cannon of a shot. He's got his Terps up by 1. Coach Tillman loves Seven's leadership, his attitude, and his love for the game of lacrosse.
Lynch continues to get the better at the face-off dot. Not only do they have possession, but now we've got a flag down. This is going to go against Maryland.
With those extra possessions.
Boost and kill, forced behind the cage. Again, a delayed call against Maryland on the first whistle. Inside, Taylor scores, though. And Jake Taylor makes certain we won't get an opportunity to see Notre Dame man up yet this afternoon. They'll wipe the flag off. We're even at 4.
Yeah. The push is wiped out. It's a 30-second technical. Goal is good. You have to make a decision. If you're going to not slide from Jake Taylor, you have to be like saran wrap on him. You just can't go. Here's the penalty that's wiped, and Will Lynch is putting on a clinic. But if you look at the Taylor goal, it was like they were showing a little bit. And Boosenkill is a tremendous midfielder. When you watch him, he is at the core of so much of the initiating for Notre Dame. If there were hockey assists in lacrosse, he'd have a ton of them. This time he gets a real one.
Face onto the middle. Angrick, now he cuts to the middle. Thought he had a shot, but he gets laid out. Boosenkill, though, picks up the loose change and buries it. Irish back on top.
The Terps play this well from a physical perspective, but the ball gets dislodged and an unlucky bounce. That's a good, hard play. Oh, wow. Angrick is able to hold on to that ball. I thought the ball was dislodged the first time I saw it live. This is a tremendous play by Tenon White. Look at Angrick. Hold on to the ball and find boost and kill. That's amazing.
Keithler battling. Just the second face-off win of the afternoon for the Terps at a time they needed it.
The varied offense of the Maryland Terps.
There's Schultz right there on the shorty, back to his right. Spanos got his defender on skates a bit. Ricciardelli was able to go up the ladder and rob him. 4 saves for Ricciardelli. Spanos has got the shorty on him in Alacqua. Opts to go back behind the cage. Jump shot. Ricciardelli makes the save. Backed up by Spanos. 5 saves for Ricciardelli.
That was Ford again.
Finley. Pushed back behind the goal. Try to get the pick action to Kavanaugh. Instead, it's up top. Harris gonna have to make something happen. Tried to feed it inside, forced it inside, and the between the leg shot hits the outside of the cage. Wow. Ramsey stays on to set a pick for Kavanaugh. Can't get under his defender. Now he goes to the other side. Look at the attention he draws.
That's advantage Will Schaller.
Spanos on light. That's been a great matchup to watch all game long. 7 in black, 90 in white. Ford. Tight angle, scores!
This is exactly my point. You don't need a pick if you decide to go with this type of matchup when you have Ford, who has a short stick on him right away. That's Ben Ramsey now has been beat for 2 goals. 1 against Schultz, now against Ford. And Ford is a natural left-handed player, but because of all these lefties on this team, with Keegan and Whittier, he's got to play the right side, but he just shows you he's able to do that. They were the top of every opposing team's scouting report. They had the top defender on them all the time. Now they have short sticks on them.
Keithler just battling for that loose ball. Maryland fans wanted a pull down, a takedown, didn't get it, and it ends up with the Irish.
Really strong fire hydrant type defenders, and he beat him in space early in that game when he dodged down the alley up top. I'd like to see that from him.
Inside, wide open, save made! Aiken again's got his defender hung up. Looking for a cutter, couldn't get it to Kelly. Now he comes upfield, tries to roll back, shoots, and scores. They'll wave it off, though. It was a shot clock violation a second before he got off a spectacular shot. 10 to shoot. Spanos gonna have to make something happen here. Has no angle. Light shut it down. But he gets it up top. Ford scored!
What a pass by Eric Spanos. You see the defense shading to the ball carrier. Where's the opening? It's diagonal. Look at all the white shirts. Discombobulated. The backside's open. And what did I tell you earlier about Bryce Ford? He's a natural lefty. He's at his sweet spot. He's got the time. He's got the room. He sets his feet and pounds that bottom corner. Methodically will dissect you. Spanos was able to do it on the last go.
Keegan here, door shuts on him. They'll bring it back to Spanos. He's got Gallagher on him. Tough angle here. Ricciardelli shuts the door. Instead, it's Maharis and Jeffrey and Finley, your midfielders. On the run, McNaney saw it all the way. 7 saves.
I like the burst by Jeffrey, but you got to change up your shot against McNaney. I mean, that's 2 for a buck.
That's one of my favorite sayings from you all the time. Dangerous here. McNaney loses a stick. This is a problem for Maryland. Oh, what a defensive play! Will Schaller! Like a 2-on-1 in basketball. Here's face-on, makes one man miss, then gets the ball knocked out of his stick.
What a grounder by Schaller. Terps in transition.
Oh my goodness, Daniel Kelly lights up the crowd here at Bobby Dodd.
I told you earlier, there are times they want to run, and they can run because of the sticks of their defenders. They've shown in the early stages of 2025, they will push. Larkin's been a goal scorer, but that time he knows. Give it to the hired lefty gun, the senior, Daniel Kelly.
Well, you get them the ball there, and Jake Taylor doesn't miss.
Can't defend Taylor like a typical crease guy. He's shown you over the years he has some range too. So right there, Burles just shows too much. That is not the time to slide off of Jake Taylor. He's not beat. Your defensive midfielder is not beat. Why show there and create offense to one of the most lethal inside guys around? Light 90 is matching his feet. It's like long strides against choppiness.
Spanos beats Alacqua. Now the slide comes. From distance, it's Schultz, his second of the day.
Someone needs to tap this kid on the shoulder and remind him he's just a true freshman. And I say that because his confidence is off the charts. When I watched him last week against Princeton when he scored 2 goals, he was going to the rack like it was a summer league game. Like, he is going. He's not going to be denied. Spanos again pries the defense, gets the eyes on him.
Now Taylor's going to go back inside along with Kavanaugh.
He's got Daniel Kelly on him. This is a matchup you have to stick.
Harris, tough angle.
Keep Daniel Kelly on the field. 45 and black is an attackman.
Kavanaugh, tough angle off the outside. Ooh, big hit delivered right after the horn sounded to end this third quarter. Had an alley there. Now face on. Slide comes. Kavanaugh, inside of 10 to shoot. He's gonna have to make something happen. Flies through the air and scores! And it's good!
This is ridiculous. And it's vintage Chris Kavanaugh. As his family looks on, get the pick set by Busenkill, and then it's airborne. And there's no goal mouth to deal with behind the cage. Ball crosses the plane before he lands in the crease. The timing to launch.
And the placement high above McNaney.
You know you're getting drilled here. The strength and the extension of the stick
into the corner.
And he's never out. Like, Schaller's been really good in this matchup. Kavanaugh is always going to keep going. 110 miles per hour. That's another offsides by Notre Dame. That is uncharacteristic of the Irish.
Quick start here for Maryland. And they find a player inside. Urso scores! Disastrous turn of event after the gorgeous goal from Chris Kavanaugh. And it's back to a 2-goal advantage.
Second box violation in this half. Quick offense. We know Maryland likes to go slow sometimes in the half-field sets, but don't tell me they don't know how to play fast. You saw Larkin to Kelly in the third quarter, then a quick restart. They sense when they have an opening. They have a feel of when to go fast.
Finley uses that big body, gets some space, hit the pipe. And he'll stay with Notre Dame. Good hustle by, that was like Jake Taylor tracking it down. It was.
Got some jets I didn't know he had.
No question about it. He usually doesn't have to run that often in his space. Jeffrey, saved by McNaney. And a great outlet pass. 11 saves for the All-American. Ursa. Spanos scores!
Connor, this play has a little bit of everything. Watch the patience of Logan McNaney. I mentioned it off the top in the open. He sits on shots. He relies on his technique. Look how deep his stick is. Just sitting on that shot. Not jumping around, then it's transition once again. And look at the underneath, whoop! Take those extra steps, keep that angle popping. Spanos has been insanely productive in this matchup. He could have shot that once he caught the ball, but he didn't have the angle. He knew if he dipped underneath and then went upfield, he would find the right angle to make it count. Spanos' IQ today has been off the charts.
Lynch, look at the beating he's taking in the middle of the field. Again on the shorty. Gets underneath the defender. Had to pass it up to Kavanaugh up top. No angle. Angrick to the middle. Nice pass inside. Saved by McNaney. He's taken over this fourth quarter. Erk's on light. Here's Keegan on the shorty with the left. Ricciardelli, he goes up to make a nice save. That's 7 on the day.
He is so calm. He's so in control. Like I said, the most experienced goalie in all of college lacrosse, one in black.
Kavanaugh, will he take over? Stays with Maharis and Notre Dame. That 16 in white is quick, isn't he? Now back to his right. Tough angle shot. It managed to get into the stick of a teammate. .40 to shoot, plenty of time, no need to panic. Inside between the legs, Kavanaugh can't get it past McNaney. Only enhanced by the fact that he gets to play with 7. Spanos now on the run, save made by Ricciardelli. He's going to try an outlet quickly. Shoveled over to Taylor. Great pass inside. Kavanaugh's not going to miss. Taylor's usually on the receiving end of passes like that.
Yeah, Taylor spot feeds Kavanaugh, but Will Donovan with the little goose play right there. That goes unnoticed. You won't see it on the stat sheet. Will Donovan just gooses it to Taylor because he knows there's some pressure behind him. Give it to Taylor, his hands are free, and Kavanaugh times that cut perfectly.
Kavanaugh shoots, scores! And a flag on the end of it to boot. Notre Dame's gonna go man up.
You can knock him down, but he's getting back up. There's no question about it. He's been amazing in this fourth quarter with 3 goals. Dodging in the last 2, shooting. He gets popped. Look how packed in Maryland's defense is.
Kill has a great shot up top there, and he opts not to take it. Now back to Kavanaugh on the far side. Now inside, tried to force feed it in.
That's not where you're going to have success against this defense right now. Whether it's all even or man down, they are packing it in. Inviting the outside shot. So who are the outside slingers? Dobson was one of those last year. He's not on the roster anymore.
McDonald can opt to shoot it instead. He passes it off, and it's a short-handed goal from Maryland, and a flag on the end of that goal. Wow.
Larkin and McDonald are as good of a duo.
Wiped out.
McDonald right here in transition, just like Larkin, has the green light. In the timing of these attackmen, you saw Erksa earlier in the fourth quarter. Now Daniel Kelly, they know they have that short window off a whistle, off a transition to find that spot to strike.
It's more late than within the play, but officials didn't think so. So we're even, and the lead is 2. That one, save made by McNaney. Yep, now we're even. I'm sorry about
that. Gravino
still call was still on. But here's another chance for Maryland.
Give a young kid in the stands right now a dream. To watch this and say, I want to be doing this one day. And that's what it's about with these neutral site games. And when you go to places like Atlanta, Georgia, you have that opportunity.
Face on, scores on the run. There he is, 14 in white.
Oh boy. I was calling for him earlier because He's matchup proof. It doesn't matter if you put a pole on him or a short stick. You don't need to be gimmicky. You could just say, my athlete is the best on the field. And he flies and he sticks the top corner, the opposite side of Logan McNaney, the lefty goalie, puts it across his face.
Kavanaugh. Over here to Jeffrey, now back to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh bounces off a defender. Now he's all alone. Shoots! Face on. Really irrelevant at this point in time. Here's Jeffrey. Freshman looking to dodge, getting in the middle of the field. Passes inside. Kavanaugh, stolen by McNaney!
It's a kick save, Connor.
And the race to the loose ball won by Schaller. High up in the air to the far end as the clock hits triple zeros.